Hi everyone, I'm Ali GREYMOND. Today I wanted to talk to you about why it's so important to practice self-care while doing OCD recovery. There's a few reasons for it, and it is actually very, very important. Number one reason is when you have OCD and over a course of a long period of time, you are continuously beat down by these thoughts. Your self-esteem starts to drop. And if you don't pick it up, first of all, just um not even so much from, you have to have good self-esteem, right? Like it's like a general thing, but from a purely practical position, if you have bad self-esteem, you can start making choices based on that self-esteem that are not good. Choices about who you spend your time with in terms of partners, friends, jobs, all aspects of your life. You know what I mean? If you don't feel like you're worth it, you're living life of a person that's not worth it. Do you know what I mean? You surround yourself with people who maybe not the best people. You know what I mean? Because you feel like you don't deserve better. Um, and that can create problems that you will later have to undo in real non-OCD world later on in life, So it's very important from that perspective. Um, and if you don't respect yourself, if you don't um, take time to do things like self-care things, right? And whatever self-care means to you in terms of what you're actually doing, but putting yourself as a priority, you know, it will affect self-esteem because if you always say, well, I'm not going to do anything for myself, I'm going to put myself last, that's not going to create good self-esteem. On another level, when you are doing everything for everybody else, being a people pleaser, which is a common problem for people with OCD as well. You are running a million miles an hour. When you're doing that, you're not actually focusing um, on OCD recovery the way you should be. Your OCD recovery is your top priority. Whatever you can say, well, this is more important. I don't even need to know what this is. You know, this is not more important. OCD recovery is more important. I can tell you that right now because whatever you feel is more important in the moment can fall apart entirely if you don't take care of OCD. So you need to put that first. If you start to say, well, I want to do everything for everybody and I'm going to put myself last and I'm going to pile things on throughout the day, you're going to be running from thing to thing and like even if not physically, then at least mentally, and you start to forget to do the response prevention. You start to do compulsions because it's easier to do a compulsion because you have so much to do, and that's just not a good thing. So you have to look at it very objectively. What do I need to do right now that I actually need to do? Then once you've done it, that's it. You need to take time between things just to breathe, make sure your mind is right. You know what I mean? You don't need to do everything for everybody right now. You don't need to put yourself last. You don't need to put your interests last right now. And that's not being um, a bad person. It's not being um, too full of yourself or anything like that. That's called self care. You know? Right now you only have one job, and I'm sure a lot of people in your life are depending on you to do this one job, and the job is to recover. Little things that you're doing for other people, little things that you feel like you need to do just so things are done perfectly, you don't need to do any of that. Your only job is to recover, and to recover you need to put yourself first you know so whatever that means on individual basis, you need to keep doing that every single day. And if you do that and making the choices, such as what I was saying, with partners, with friends, with jobs, whatever life situations, based on the fact that you are a good person, based on the fact that you are worth it, even if in the moment right now, as you are going through OCD recovery, you might not feel it, but act as if this is what's happening. It's kind of going to feel like to you like you're faking it. That's okay, but you're going to make the right choices that later you won't feel like you have to undo because you made them when you were in a bad place in your life. Another thing that I often see happens, you know, with lack of self care, lack of self esteem, is putting up with decisions or making a decision that you don't actually want to make because it's just easier. You know, a lot of the times, I work with clients. Um, People are afraid to say things. People are afraid to like put things on the internet, like on social media. I have this happen so much. I see this, I would say, maybe a third of the time I see this, you know, where people are afraid to say certain things, afraid to say their opinion. This is extremely common with OCD. And if you're not speaking up for yourself, if you're not sharing your opinions, then, there's a lot of problems that can come up from that, you know. So, putting yourself in situations that you want, saying what it is that you want. Um, don't be afraid to do that, because again, this is, we're not like, I don't like when people say, well, self-care is, when you light a candle and meditate. It is that. That is true, if that's what it is. But there's a lot of um, little moments in the day where you practice self-care by putting yourself as a priority, putting what you think as a priority, um, doing the things you want to do first as a priority. It's like less obvious, but I find so much more important ways to practice self-care, because those are the little moments that really make up your whole life. And carrying that even past OCD recovery. After you recover from OCD, continuing to practice that, continuing to build self-esteem. Um, with people, a lot of times I see social anxiety, so people are afraid to talk to people in terms of, what if I say something, that will not sound good, like that will not sound smart, or that will come out the wrong way, or will offend somebody. You know, all these things are very, very common. And to get over it, you just need to practice all the time. You know, I promise you'll get through it, but you will only get through it if you actually make it a priority. You know, I hope you guys find these videos helpful. I will get back to the Q&A. So if you have questions that you would like me to answer, please leave it below the please ask questions video. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to do the recovery program, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. I'll see you tomorrow.